Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for logging on to CBS in Denver. Time for our latest edition of Spencer's Study, chatting with DU Lacrosse head coach Bill Tierney. Hey, coach, obviously a crazy situation for you guys. You were at the beginning of your season, had already played some games. I know you were, I think, out at practice or took the practice field shortly after you found out that the NCAA had decided to cancel the spring sports basically for the rest of the season. So take me back to that day and what that had been like for you and for your guys.
Well, it was obviously a crazy day. We had gotten word of the Ivy League canceling their season the day before, and then knew that the NCAA was meeting. So because of our 2-hour time frame, we kind of had a heads up a little bit before everybody else, but we decided to inform the team before our practice on that Thursday afternoon of the final decision, and then go out and kind of have a fun practice, which we did. We had a great inter-squad game, and the kids were fantastic, and kind of, I don't think it hit them with the reality of it all until after it was all done, and we kind of were breaking things down, and they refused to leave the field. And all of a sudden it was emotional, and guys were hugging, and some guys were mad, and other guys were just crying. And I think the reality of it all hit. And then obviously the next day when Colton Creech, our AD, called our coaches meeting together, we kind of all knew what was going on.
The NCAA obviously granted a waiver of eligibility an extra year for your seniors. I have to imagine that was something that you pushed for and something that you're excited about.
Well, it was, you know, when you're this far removed from the decision makers, you can push and pray and wish all you want. It's going to be up to them. But you know, it's a bigger picture. It's a huge picture. Certainly, we don't know yet. The way it's been written, it's each school now has to make a decision on how much they're going to be able to, you know, fund this thing. Each of the young men have to make a decision on, do I want to go back to school for a 5th year? Can I get into a graduate program? And so each school is going to go by a kind of a case-by-case study of each student athlete. You know, it's kind of like the NCAA looks great in all this. They made this nice decision, but then they kicked it back down to the conferences and the schools who have to make the tough decision, especially on a financial front.
How will you, as a head coach and dealing with seniors and guys who could potentially come back another year, how do you go about navigating that?
It's tough. We've been on the phone all morning today, and you know, trying to get an idea, number one, of would you consider coming back? You know, we've been, our team, you know, at the University of Denver, we're in a unique situation right now. Well, we just started our spring semester yesterday. We have 10 more weeks of school, which is all online. Kids are all over the country. And we're moving forward where most schools are winding down their last 3 weeks or 4 weeks or so. So we're kind of in a unique situation where we've got to stay in touch with the kids anyway. And so, you know, we've been doing these Zoom things with the team, which is really kind of fun. But the reality of today was to start to have some of these frank discussions on, you know, what their wishes are, you know, and see if, as the week moves on, if we can hopefully grant those wishes.
Coach, what's quarantine been like for you from a personal aspect?
Well, thankfully for me, I have, you know, no kids at home and everything. So my wife and I have been doing a lot of walking, and it's an interesting routine. I think the best way to put it for me, or the best thing that's come out of this for me, has been that I don't have any of those angst-laden Saturday mornings before games.
Hey, Coach, we really appreciate the time. Couple quick rapid fire questions for you. Obviously, walking would be the favorite quarantine activity. Everybody's binging stuff, whether it be on Netflix or Hulu. Are you binging anything these days?
I'll tell you what I'm not binging is Tiger King.
No?
No, I did about a half of that baby, and that was a little too much for me. So what I am doing is getting in better shape, and I'm learning a lot of big words from my wife as we play Scrabble every night.
Awesome. Awesome, Coach. I love it. Hey, thank you so much for chatting with us. And, of course, for those of you watching on CBS in Denver, keep it right here for the latest in your sports coverage.